Welcome back to the kitchen, everybody. This is your boy, the Mad Chef, and tonight we're going to carry on in the spirit of Viewer Request Month. And today's video was requested by none other than Mrs. Mad Chef herself. So, baby, whenever this video comes out, your name and your user handle will be tagged in the title. Yes, she's right here. And so that way you'll know exactly when the video comes out so you can watch your request being made. So she asked me about a week ago if I can make a chicken bacon ranch pizza, like the DiGiorno kind. And honestly, why would I say no? We've done a lot of things with chicken bacon ranch, and chicken bacon ranch is absolutely delicious. But here's the curveball. Here's the spin. Instead of doing it on a New York style crust, which we definitely could have done, or a pan style crust, we're going to be going with our new favorite style of pizza. And guys, if you haven't watched before, that is the Detroit style pizza. So we're going to be using the exact same pizza dough recipe that we used in the video back in April. And guys, if you haven't watched that, there's going to be a card floating around and a link in the description. You really need to check that out so you can make this wonderful pizza. Plus, along the way, we're going to be fixing some things that I don't like about those store brand chicken bacon ranch pizzas. And we're going to be making this the best chicken bacon ranch pizza you've ever had in your life. That's a lot of chicken, bacon, and ranch. So without further ado, let's get started. And in front of me are 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I've trimmed and chopped into some bite-sized pieces. And to it, we're going to be just hitting it up with that exact same herb rub we used in the Better Than the Box Chicken Bacon Ranch Pasta video. Now, if you guys have not seen that video or are new to the channel, don't worry about tuning away just yet. I have the recipe to that herb seasoning in the description so that way you can use it tonight. And after we've gotten that all nice and worked in, we're going to go ahead and start working on our bacon. And this is just 8 slices of thick cut bacon that I've chopped into some nice lardons. And then we're going to go ahead and start rendering this off over a medium-high heat. We're trying to extract as much fat as possible from this bacon because that's going to be the vehicle we use to cook our chicken, just like we did in that video with the pasta. And after a few minutes, once we start to see some color at the bottom of the pan and some of that fat starting to render, we're going to go ahead and break it up and continue to render it until it's nice and foamy and cooked through. That being said, we do not want this bacon to be completely crispy right now. We need it to have some of that moisture still intact because keep in mind, this is going to be a topping going into a high temp oven, and if it's completely crisp now, it's going to be overcooked once it comes out of the oven. And after we've removed all of our beautifully cooked bacon, we're going to go ahead and start searing off our chicken in the bacon fat. Now guys, we're just going to be searing both sides to get a nice crust and then cooking it all the way through. No special technique here. We just want it cooked through with a nice color. And so while that's rendering off, we're going to go ahead and start working on our cheese sauce. Yes, I said cheese sauce. And this is how we're going to fix those name brand chicken bacon ranch pizzas. So after we melt down that 1 stick of unsalted butter, we're going to go ahead and add in 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. This is a roux. And also we're going to be adding in 1 packet of Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning. Now, you might be wondering why I'm going for a cheese sauce, and that's simply because I hate ranch dressing. However, I love ranch seasoning and the ranch chip dip made with sour cream. Don't ask me why I'm this way. I just am this way. So after we've gotten that in and cooked it out for about 2 minutes, we're going to go ahead and add in our milk slowly in batches. Now guys, this looks pretty familiar to you if you've seen that Better Than the Box Chicken Bacon Ranch Pasta video, but I will tell you, you cannot use the sauce from that video to make this pizza, as that sauce will be too thick and gloopy and just won't work. So we're going to be modifying that sauce recipe by thinning it out a little bit. So what I'm doing here is very gradually adding in 2.5 cups of 2% milk or your milk of choice and 1/2 cup of half and half, stirring constantly until we get a nice thick sauce like this. And this is just 1 16-ounce block of Part-Skim Mozzarella Cheese, and we're going to be adding it in 1/2 cup portions at a time. And then we're going to do like we always do when we make a cheese sauce and make sure that our mozzarella is fully melted before adding in another batch. And we're going to continue this process until we use 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. And that's the secret to making this sauce work. We added more liquid and a little bit less cheese. And the result's going to be a thinner yet creamy and rich cheese sauce that will flow with the structure of the pizza. And now that all of our pizza components are fully cooked and out of the way, we're going to go ahead and take our beautifully cooked bacon and then chop it up into some finer pieces. Think of those prepackaged bottle bacon bits you see in the store. We're going for something around that kind of size and texture. And then we're just going to add it back in the bowl and start assembling our pizzas. This is another difference than what we did with that pasta. I added the bacon into the cheese sauce, but in order to get the maximum amount of bacon per each slice of pizza, it's going to be added on as a topping instead. So now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and start making our beautiful Detroit-style chicken bacon ranch pizza. And now that our Detroit-style crust is ready to use, let's go on with a nice generous layer of this beautiful garlic butter. This is the same thing I did in my original video on Detroit-style pizza. And this garlic butter is going to do two things. Not only is it going to keep the bread moist, it's also going to add an incredible flavor that's going to play well with all these toppings. And now that that beautiful garlic butter is rubbed into our crust, let's go ahead and start off by adding in a beautiful layer of our ranch cheese sauce. Now guys, I know traditionally on a Detroit style pizza, it's usually 3 stripes of sauce. But since this is a thick cheese sauce, those 3 lines of sauce are not going to break down enough to give us the ranch coverage we need. Again, it's the main flavor profile of this pizza, so I do hope the good people of Detroit forgive me as I paint the entire surface area with our beautiful ranch cheese sauce. And then we're just going to top it with just a quarter of our remaining mozzarella cheese. And I know this sounds weird, but this blanket of cheese is going to catch any of the oils and juices that escape from our meat, preventing our crust on the side from getting soggy. And then we're just going to very generously cover the surface area of our pizza with that beautifully cooked chicken. And guys, please be mindful not to overcrowd the surface of your pizza with that chicken. I know it's easy to do, but if your pizza goes in too heavy with those proteins, it will not cook properly. You'll have a crispy exterior and a soggy interior to your pizza, which is an ultimate party foul. Now that we've gotten all of our beautiful chicken piled on, we're going to give this pizza a generous dusting of those beautiful bacon crumbles, and then we're going to add on another quarter of our remaining mozzarella cheese. And because every chicken bacon ranch pizza I've seen in the store has some form of cheddar on it, we're going to go on with a light layer of freshly shredded mild cheddar. Keep in mind, when I'm putting cheese on this pizza, I'm consciously trying to cover the bacon. This cheese is going to act as a barrier and shield to the bacon to keep it from overcooking in the oven. It's going to add enough moisture where everything cooks perfectly. And regardless if this is a traditional pizza or not, all of my pizzas get a nice, generous coating of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to give it a nice dusting of parsley. And then we're going to toss it into the oven, preheated to 525 degrees. And it should be done within 17 to 20 minutes. And I will see you at a beautiful reveal. All right, so this is the moment we've been waiting all episode for. And look at that. I think we've done something here tonight, y'all. We've definitely did a very different and inspired take on the, classic American chicken bacon ranch pizza. Did we get the classic traditional caramelized edges on the sides like a traditional Detroit pizza? No. But this is a very different type of pizza, and I think for what we've done, look at all that caramelized cheese and everything else like this. So, needless to say, I'm super excited to cut into it, and that's the next step. All right, so this is it, y'all. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, so let's go ahead and take a cut in. We definitely still have some crispiness going on. That's what we want. All right. And since this is her request video, the lady of the house, Miss Mad Chef, gets the very first slice. I'll make sure you get a good one, too.
Oh, please do.
Got some of the crispy edges. Got some of that gooey center. All right, love. I hope this meets your standards. Here it is. That's the bite. Look at that undercarriage. The undercarriage is good too.
Love it.
Out of 10.
10.
10 out of 10. Would highly recommend. I don't really care for store-bought chicken bacon ranch pizzas because they have that thick layer of ranch dressing. but a ranch cheese sauce. And what you guys don't realize is it may have been thick going on, but with that extra heat at 525, it loosens and it spreads. So it's not as thick and strong and pungent as you would think it is. Super cheesy, super savory. You got the crisp from the outside of the crust, but that center piece is so just so moist and tender. Honestly, I'm glad I went with a Detroit style crust because the structure in the body of a Detroit crust handles all the heavy sauce, all the toppings without going soggy or dense in the center. If we had chosen to do a pan pizza or a New York style pizza with this, it wouldn't have been nearly as good of a bite. You have all the textures, all the flavors, guys. And we also didn't burn down the kitchen like last time. If you guys don't remember the last video when we made that chicken Alfredo pizza, we got smoked out. But at the end of it all, we won and created an incredible chicken Alfredo pizza. Sometimes it doesn't matter how you win, just as long as you win. And this is another win. Guys, think twice before you go into your frozen section and buy one of those same old, either store brand or name brand chicken bacon ranch pizzas. Again, this is fresh, this is good, and it'll change your life. You know, do something adventurous. Don't eat the same stuff. Until next time, this is your boy, the Mad Chef, and I'm out of here.